I was going to go easy on you, not to hurt your feelings.
You f***ing irritate the shit out of me!
I'm only going to get this one chance. It's just a feeling I've got. Like something's about to happen, but I don't know what.
All I hear, go get the money. So I go get it. Hate means I do something right. So I'ma let.
Hey, what's going on, peeps? What's up? Welcome to Gap Sell Keenan 31. I can't believe there have been 30 salespeople who've gone through this. And unfortunately, no one has sold me yet. They have not gotten me or found a problem that me or sales guy have that warrants us spending our money and going with them. We've had a couple of people who have come close. I'm excited for them. We're still in talks with some folks, but no one has been able to close the deal yet. So maybe today's guest can do that. So those of you who are new, Gap Sell Keenan. It is where a real salesperson with a real product or service who really wants me or a sales guy company to buy it, tries to get me to buy it and pitches it live in front of you on Facebook, LinkedIn, and Twitter to see if they can find a problem that we need to solve that we'll spend money on to buy. And if they do, we'll buy it. If not, they have to subject themselves to my coaching and deal with the fallout. So today we've got one Collin Mitchell. Let me get him in here and say hello. Let's see. Come on. Let's see if we can get him in here. Ah, there he is. Welcome, Collin Mitchell. Welcome, baby.
Yeah, thanks for having me, Keenan.
I got you. So how you doing? You ready for today? You nervous?
I'm not gonna lie. I'm a little nervous. But that's okay. I'm a big fan of Gap Selling. I read the book 3 times. Well, I lie. I listened to the book. I'm an audiobook guy. So I've listened to the book and I feel prepared. I don't have a lot of information, but we're going to dig into that. So I'm excited. And I would love to end this show with being the first person to actually have you give me your money from the LinkedIn Live.
All right. Well, then it is in. Oh, hey, everybody listening, paying attention. I see you coming in now. It worked out really good. Do me a favor. Everybody here, share this, please. Share this right now. Hit share with your friends. Hit share with people. Yeah. Let's make this beneficial to more people because you guys can learn from Collin's mistakes, the things he does right. Like, you know what they say, the wise people learn from other people. So everybody, please hit that. Hit the share and let's get other people watching this. We got a good audience right now, but let's see if we can blow this up. All right. So this is how it works. I think Collin, you've got 15 minutes to, because that's what everybody wants. Can I have just 15 minutes of your time? 15 minutes of my time to ask questions, pitch your product, whatever you think you need to do to make this a successful sales call. From that, I will then give you my feedback and we will go from there.
All right, let's dig in. All right, so basically, before we hopped on, I told you a little bit of how this happened. Somebody on your team had searched and we're looking for a Google Voice alternative. So what we do is we're a unified communications provider. So we're a cloud-based phone system packed with a touch of features. I'm not going to go into that till I identify what the problem is that you guys are having and see if I can help solve it. So
good start.
My first question is, you're using Google Voice today for some sort of your call flow, correct?
Yes.
Okay. And what are the challenges that you're having with Google Voice?
I
know one of them.
Okay.
Danielle told me one issue is something with how the voicemails are being delivered. They're not getting distributed to everybody. They're not always being transcribed. There's some issues when a call comes in and voice messages aren't getting to everybody kind of in a timely manner. Does that sound somewhat accurate?
Yeah. So let me help you out on this one. That was good. But fucking like I tell every other person, make that a question. Don't tell me, literally flip the whole thing and make it a question. So then I can tell you what it is and then you can keep asking so I own it. Right? Okay. Like so much more value when I tell you my vantage point than you'll ever get me telling me your interpretation of my vantage point.
Yeah, I might have jumped the gun a little bit. I thought that you weren't really sure, so I wanted to keep this going because I got 15 minutes, so I'm trying to make the most of it.
So do it by asking the question. So let's roll all the way back and see. You said, what are the problems you're having with it? And knowing I'm having a problem with email, ask the question about not email.
Right. Keenan,
Yeah.
What are the issues you're having with voicemails being delivered with the Google Voice alternative?
All right. That's a good question. So one of the challenges we have is I don't even know how the damn thing works for starters. So it just sits out.
That's a problem itself.
Yeah. So it sits out there, right?
Yeah.
And it rings on my computer, right?
Yeah.
And so either I get it or Brady gets it or Danielle gets it. But if no one's in front of any of their computers, no one gets it. And then they leave a voice message, which I blew my mind that you can't just forward to somebody. Like all the shit that Google does, I was just assumed, oh, hey, look, this guy called about this or this woman called about this. Let me send this to Brady, but you can't. So I think I cut and paste and I send it off to Brady or I send it to whoever needs to get it. Sometimes I don't even see it and the shit just sits there forever. My personal biggest problem is that the damn thing rings on my computer when I'm doing a Zoom call with a client or I'm doing something, I'm doing a virtual training or something like that. And all of a sudden my phone rings and either I have to say to the people on the thing, please hold, or if Brady or Danielle, I'm like, hey, watch it happen here. That would be kind of cool. I was like,
yeah, I was just going to say that.
Yeah, I was like, can you guys please go answer this so it stops fucking ringing while I'm on this Zoom call? So, yeah. I mean, those are some of the biggest problems and issues I'm having right now, for sure.
Is that it ringing right now?
No, that's my phone, which I didn't put on silence. It's my fault.
All right. So would you say one of the biggest things is it waste your time?
No.
I mean, copying and pasting and trying to forward and sending messages, it's wasting your time.
No.
Okay. All right. So, and what's the impact of you not being able to forward the voicemails and the calls actually be answered?
Frustration. I don't think we've lost any business. Irritation, frustration.
Okay. So I'm gonna challenge you on that because I know that your business has transitioned, right, a little bit, gone more virtual, more your B2C model with the training and stuff like that. You know, so those are more. Is that correct?
Yeah. Okay. Yeah, it's gone more virtual from a delivery.
But I'm saying you have a lower cost product, a more consumer type product for salespeople that aren't getting training within their organization can go buy training from you. You've moved in that direction.
No, we're not moving in that direction. We added to that.
You added. But with the current situation, that's a big bulk of your business, correct?
No. Big bulk of our business is still corporations. We just allow them to buy online training or to deliver it virtually. The majority of our business is still selling to corporations. But we've added the ability for individuals whose companies won't pay for it, tis, shame, to go buy it themselves through the online training.
Okay, how that consumer product that you've added, I guess I made a little bit of an assumption there. So the consumer product that you've added, how much of the successes are you going to contribute to your planned growth?
The consumer space, that's a good question. I would say to the total plan growth, maybe 10%.
Wow, that's it?
Mm-hmm.
Okay. All right. So
look, I'll be pleasantly surprised otherwise, but
okay. So consumer behavior, will you agree with consumer behavior is different than in the way that they want to do business is different than in the B2B space?
We haven't seen that.
But I mean, just generally speaking, would you say that it's different?
In what way? Could you define?
In what way? In the way that they want to deal with customer service, or I guess to be more specific, if they call you, they want you to pick up the damn phone.
Yeah. Okay. From a customer service perspective,
yes.
Would I say it's different? I wouldn't say the behavior is different. No, I would say the volume would be different. But no, whether I have the sales enablement person who just bought 50 seats in our online training and 30 of his people can't get in, he fucking wants me to answer the phone.
Yeah.
Right?
Okay. But what I'm saying is, so for example, somebody that you've gone a deep discovery and you're going to sell them a consulting, a lot of that, and Zoom calls, scheduled calls, you might have email back and forth. They're not calling you, expecting you to pick up the phone right now so that they can buy something from you, right?
No. Nope.
Okay. But somebody who comes across one of your ads, sees the phone number and says, this look interesting, but I have some questions, and they call, they're going to expect you to pick up the phone, right?
What assumption did you just make there? Woo-hoo! What assumption did you just make there?
The assumption that I made is that the number on your ads is going to your Google Voice.
Nope. Step back. Step way back. Everybody pay attention. What assumption did he just make? What assumption did you just make?
The assumption that I made is that those people are calling you.
No, you made another assumption. Huge assumption.
Okay,
Huge.
Tell me.
Your statement was, did anybody get it here? I'll see if people get it in a minute. You made the assumption that this is what you said. When people see the ad and call the number on the ad, they want you to pick up the phone. What's the assumption you made?
That you guys aren't picking up the phone.
No, I'll say it again. So when you run the ad and they see the phone number in the ad and they call the number, what's the assumption you're making?
That the calls are going to you, to your Google Voice number, to you.
So you run the ad and they see the number in the ad and they call you. What assumption are you making?
That they're calling you.
No, I'll do it again. So they see the ad, they see the number in the ad, they call the number. What's the assumption you're making?
I don't know. Tell me. I'm lost. You lost me. Tell me.
That we put the fucking number in the ad. That's the assumption you're making. We do not put the number in the ad.
Okay. Wow. All right.
And we do not want to put the number in the ad, and we're not going to put the number in the ad.
Okay. All right. So let's get away from that. All right. So let's go back. Let's back up before I made some of these. Let's back up before I made some of these assumptions. When we were in the problem category, we were doing well, and then I made some assumptions.
Yes,
we started to go way off. All right. So
yes.
All right. So the impact of the problems with the Google Voice, it ringing when you're on Zoom, when you're in the middle of a training, not being able to forward a voicemail, that creates frustration.
Yes.
Okay. And so what is the reason for that frustration?
It's embarrassing. Well, to me, I guess it's embarrassing that my phone's going off while I'm on let's say on a virtual training. I've got, hundreds of people sitting on a call they paid money for. And I got this damn thing going off. That I just don't like that. I think the professionalism, I think it affects the training, et cetera. So it's very irritating. I think does it affect your bottom line at all? I wouldn't be. I wouldn't know. I wouldn't know. I would say not. No, probably not.
Okay. Well, what about if we go back to when you said sometimes there's calls that sit there for a very long time that you don't even end up getting back to? Do you think there's lost revenue there?
There's possibly. We don't get that. We don't get that many calls.
Okay. And so in a perfect future state, how would you like?
Do not ask a self-diagnosis question. Okay, everybody, here's your lesson. I love this shit. Okay, he calls me a good guy. Guys, pay the fuck attention. And every sales leader, please watch this. Please listen, because your team does what Collin's doing. Collin's a smart guy. I'm sure he's very successful. I'm sure he makes his number. I'm sure he sells a lot of stuff. But do you know how much more Collin could sell if he could learn to do this? It would blow your company up. Okay, so here's what just happened. I purposely gave you a gift and you didn't take it. And now my diatribe, I can't remember exactly what I said. But do you remember the last thing I said before you said, well, if I could.
You said it's embarrassing. It's not professional.
Yes. Okay. So I said, no, I said before, I said it's embarrassing. It's not professional. And then I said, and you said, did it cost you money? Right? Then you said, does it cost you money? And I said,
does it hurt your bottom line? You said you weren't sure. And then I asked you about the calls that sit there for a long time that you don't get back to.
Yes. And I said, I'm sure it may have or could have, right?
Yeah.
And then I said, but I can't track it and not enough to really make a difference. And I said, that's what I said. This is what I said. This was my gift to you. I remember now. Here was my gift to you. I said, we don't use the phone that much. I said that on purpose. I literally said that on purpose to see what you would do with it. And what you want to do with it is you jump to, well, could you see in the future if you could, blah, 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 blah.
So if you don't use the phone that much, then this is not that big of a problem for you.
Probably not, but you should have jumped on that. So
why don't you use the phone very much?
So we try to do everything good. Right? Okay, I can live with that. Okay. Let's see what you do with the following question. We try to limit our use on the phone. One, because we don't think it's all that effective. Two, by using email and text and social media, et cetera, it's easier for us to connect and engage and stay connected to people rather than just a call. And it was small companies, so we didn't want to get inundated, right? Plus, we don't think people really use the phone that much anyways. So all we've ever used the phone for is for those few people who feel the need to call or want to call. We don't want to put it front and center. We don't want to be taking calls all day long, especially in stuff that we can do through chat. We can do through. Oh, you just ready to ask that next question? Okay, go.
When you say you don't use the phone very much, what's not very much to you?
We don't. Oh, geez.
Like, how often do you use the phone? How many calls do you get?
So besides our personal cell phones, as a company, we never call out on it, ever. And we don't put it on anything except on the website.
Okay. So so your employees answer business calls on their personal cell phones.
Mm-hmm.
So calls get forwarded to their personal cell phones.
No, they don't get forwarded. They give out their personal cell phone.
Got it. Okay.
Mm-hmm. So everybody uses their personal cell phones to conduct their calls. They use Zoom to conduct their meetings. They use their personal cell phones to text. But as far as reaching out, we have that number for anybody who wants to call us when they go to our main website.
Okay. And that's the Google Voice number.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. And how important would it be for you to be able to
You're doing it again. You're doing it again. So everybody listen. And everybody has done this. I don't understand why it doesn't sink in. Never ask a question, how important would it be for you to?
Okay.
Now, why am I telling you? Here's your coaching. Why am I telling you not to ask that question?
Because I'm assuming, I'm basically with that structure of I don't know. Tell me. I don't know, because I keep asking. So
great. So this is what happens, everybody. Please take something from this. This is like, I do this because I love salespeople and I want them to get better, and I want to literally fundamentally change how salespeople engage with buyers so everybody's a winner. Okay. When you ask the question, how important would it be for you to, you're basically telegraphing you don't know why they should change. And that's the whole point of the discovery. Like, the whole point of the discovery is for you to get there and be able to tell them why it's important after they've told you everything that's going on. So this is a stupid metaphor, but it works if everybody's listening. If I'm selling matchmaking services, or I'm selling, those dumb online dating services, and I do a discovery for you, and I find out how often you're dating today, and I find out when the last time you had dating, and I find out how old you are, and I find out if you're divorced or not, if I find out if you have kids or not, I find out all this information. I don't have to say to her, how important is it that you find a good dating app and you meet the girl of your dreams? I already know, or the guy of your dreams. It's like, so based on our conversation, what you're saying is that you want to have children, you're 45 years old, you're concerned that you're running out of time, you're meeting people who already have children, you don't want to be a step parent, so you realize that the pool of people you could marry who are your age who don't have kids is really tiny. And so what's critical to you is you find this person next few years so you can start a life with someone who just the two of your own kids and have that life you've always wanted because your parents were divorced and you didn't have that. Right?
Yeah. All right.
Do you see the difference, Collin? Do you see the difference?
I do see the difference. So you've already told me what the causes and their emotions are. So if I could solve not being frustrated, not being embarrassed when you're on training calls through having a phone system that doesn't interrupt you, that can be forwarded, is that something that would be interesting to you?
That's another stupid question. Stop that. You need to get to a place to tell me. You have the reason you're asking that question is you still haven't found out the size of the problem where you can tell me.
I'll be honest, the problem's not that big. You don't use the phone that much. You don't get these interruptions that much. They are annoying when they happen, but the problem's not that big. So I don't have a lot of places to go with that other than I can solve that problem for you. It's not that big of a problem, but it is a problem. So how motivated are you to get rid of that problem?
Well, it depends on the cost, really, right? So here's the $1 million question. We're motivated enough to try to go solve it.
Well, you were motivated enough to send somebody out to start searching for another solution.
Yes.
Okay. And you don't use the phone. It's only one number. So it's a low ticket item. It just depends on how big the problem is. So if I could solve that and you paid the same or less than what you're paying today, would you buy that from me?
Of course.
Then let's do it.
But you should know that you shouldn't have to ask the question, right? You should basically come back and say, Keenan, unless I'm missing something, really it's not that big of a deal. You just want to be able to send the emails off, the voicemails, make sure everybody gets the right voicemails. You want to make sure this thing doesn't ring in the middle of your whatchamacallit. You just want to simplify and get rid of some of these nagging things, right? And you could have asked, why did you go with Google Voice in the first place? Never asked that, right? Which would have given you tons of information. Right? If you had asked why we would Google Voice in the first place, would have set you up for everything. We just went with it because we really just felt you had to have some number for someone to call. And now that we got it, people call it once in a blue moon. It's a pain in the ass when they call it. These are the reasons. And if you could have come back and said, listen, Keenan, if that's it. Look, it's not a big problem. We don't need to make this a big deal. We have a product here that does this. It costs $10 a month and it does this, and this. No, what do you call it? I'm making this shit up, but no
interruptions in your meetings, easily forward the voicemails, all the stuff that you don't like, we can solve. But I think I was trying to make the problem bigger than it was, where I started to really screw up.
So, no. Here's the deal. No. I love that you wanted to make the problem bigger than it was. But you said it naturally. You said you were trying to make the problem bigger than it was, rather than getting me to see the problem that was bigger than it was. You weren't keying off on my shit. I can tell I've had other salespeople like you, and I used to be like you, okay? I can watch in your eyes. You are spending too much time in your head ready for your next question than you are actually listening to me and being attached to my words and getting ready to ask your next question based on what I say, not what you think you want me to say or where you want to take me. And so you couldn't get connected. And at one point in time, he said, well, let me tell you what I think, right? No. The only time you can do that is when you say, hey, based on what you've told me, this is what I think is going on. Is this accurate? Once you anchor me and validate and get me to validate the problem, and you can't expand it, then you can say, you know what? Listen, that's when I heard Keenan. I don't think we're a good fit, and be happy with that. Be thrilled with that.
Yeah.
Another time. But trying to create shit out of fucking thin air, it ain't gonna happen. It ain't gonna happen. Now, if you were really, 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 really good, right? You could have said, okay, Keenan, talk to me a little more. You're only getting a few calls on this because you hide it on your website. Why do you hide it on your website? I don't think we need it right now. If you knew something I didn't know and you could start asking questions like, okay, now you're doing this. You said you're doing this business to consumer on the online, correct? Yes.
Yeah.
Do you know that based on XYZ study that 80% of people who buy online want to be able to call someone before they buy? No, I did not know that. Now I know that's not true, but I'm just saying. No. Yeah. So, Keenan, have you ever considered that you could be losing business because of that? I had no idea. And I would say to you, so you telling me that because I don't have a phone number on this page that I'm losing business? And you could say, yeah, I think you are. Then you could say, what I'd be willing to do is why don't we do a test? And is there a way that you could create a separate landing page, Keenan, for 1 month with the number, without the number? Yeah. Okay. If you had the data to suggest that's a real thing, then I got a shot. That's how you fucking sell. That's how you create demand, motherfucker. Like, this is how you do it. You've got to understand the business. You've got to stay in the business. Stop trying to sell your damn product. See what I've done there?
Yeah, no, that's a great example.
Right?
I get it. Yeah.
You're smart as shit, Collin. I know you'll be able to crush this. But my coaching to you is you've got to stop trying to make the product fit. You've got to spend more time in the business listening to what they're saying, going through it, taking what they give you, letting it process, right? Ask the next natural follow-on question. And if it takes you to someplace big, awesome. If it doesn't, then get out. And if there's something small that you can sell, you can sell. So in hindsight, we're coming up to the end, but I'm open to more questions or answering anything you want. And if anybody has any questions, I'll do that as well. If you have something that's not very expensive that can solve these 2 or 3 problems that I'm explaining to you, and then maybe some things here, watch this, and then maybe some things I'm not thinking about that could even added business value, I'm in. And you'll be the first person to sell this shit, right? Remember, the gap is it's not about making a giant gap. It's about making a gap that fits what you sell. If you make the gap bigger, even though you sell something that's cheap, that just increases the chance of buying it. But you just got to find a gap that lives there. And so, we got a small gap. And if you got a solution that can fill that small gap for a small price, I'm in.
Yeah. No, I appreciate the feedback. And I enjoy coming on here. And so, yeah, I mean, basically I can solve that problem for you for $20 a month.
All right. So here, I rarely do this, but I'm interested. This is where I'd say, okay, tell me about the product. And I'm okay with you telling me about the product. Now, what's it going to do for us and how's it going to solve the problem?
Yeah. So it's a fully, it's a fully hosted business phone system, has a mobile app included, has a desktop app included. You can silence that desktop app so that it's not going to interrupt you during your calls. You could also forward those voice messages directly to somebody else on your team. So it's $20 per user. And then if they're a user as well, you can simply go to that voicemail. It's transcribed. You can save it, download it, forward it to somebody else on your team very quickly, easily, and you wouldn't have to deal with the copy paste, and you wouldn't be interrupted during your calls feeling embarrassed.
Okay. So at $20 a month per user, if I give this to my assistant, then she would be the only one who uses it and she can handle everything from there herself.
So if she wanted to forward the voicemail to you, you'd need to be a user as well, but she could download it and send it to you on Slack or whatever else you guys use if you just wanted to roll with one user since you don't use the phone very much.
Yeah. That's okay. And it can end up on her phone and everything?
It could be on her computer and on her mobile device as well.
Yeah, I think that'd be an option. Yeah, because look, the other part is I think the other part is because Google Voice is the way it was, I don't think we built a very good process around who should answer the phone and et cetera, et cetera. So this just streamlines our process, right? It's Danielle, you're my assistant, you're the incoming person, and you take care of this, and you take the notes and set it up, and then she can turn around and send a note or download the voicemail or whatever and steer them to me, Brady, Rachel, Ryan, whoever, right?
Yeah, and then also on top of that, if we decide that, hey, putting a number on your ads is important, we could both I could do a little research on that. And if it is, then you could put a number on there and have multiple users and it can ring them simultaneously. That way you don't miss those calls.
Okay. All right, man. Call Danielle. All right. Well, and what is this, a 1-year term? How's it work?
Month to month.
So if we don't like it, we can get out?
Yep.
All right. We'll buy it. There you go.
All right. There we go.
There you go. All right. So call Danielle. Tell her to work with you to get that shit changed and go through the whole process. And all right. I love it. That was easy.
All right, man. Thanks, Keenan.
All right. You got it, my man. Thank you. And well done. Well, it was medium done. But let me ask you.
Yeah.
This is actually good, right? You read the book 3 times.
Yeah.
You've watched many of these.
Yes.
What is your big takeaway, and what do you think makes this so difficult? What do you think is different once I coach you and highlight this for you?
Well, because, it helps to have somebody else give you that feedback so that you can improve. Mm-hmm. If you don't have somebody that's telling you, no, do it this way, you could have done it better, having that person that's, especially you, who the process like the back of your hand, you can see me starting to go down a certain path or direction as it's happening. I could see your face when it was like, oh no, what's it going to say now? There's huge benefit in having somebody that understands the process to help guide you in a different direction or a different way of doing it.
But outside of the process, did any light bulbs go off in the coaching itself? Right? What did you learn?
Yeah. So one thing, I was a little nervous hopping on here, obviously, and So I think that I started to make a lot of assumptions, and I know that the big thing was I tried to make the problem bigger. But I think the one thing that stuck out the most is you noticed and picked up on the fact that I wasn't listening very intently because I was thinking about the next direction to go. I was trying to follow the path of the gap selling process. So I was trying to think where to go next as I was collecting information, which wasn't making me fully present to really understand or connect with everything that you were saying. So I missed some good nuggets that you gave me.
Boom! That is the path. Way to go, my man. We're going to give you a free t-shirt too. That was cool. Here's the deal, everybody. The path of gap selling is the information the buyer gives you. That is the path. That is the nugget. That is the gold. And so anything you're doing that doesn't get you directly connected to what comes out of their mouth is costing you valuable time, money, and opportunity. That is the point. So gap selling is only a framework to tell you what to get. I don't care what direction you get it, right? I don't care when you get the impact. I don't care when you get the problem. I don't care when you get the root cause. I don't care when you get the physical little. What I care about is you ask the question and you shut up and listen. That's Danielle, we're getting a new t-shirt.
Put that on a t-shirt.
Shut up and listen. Yes, that's what I was going to say. Shut up and listen. That is my new t-shirt. Because salespeople don't do that. You ask the question, and you may shut up, but you're not listening. You're in your head thinking about the next question because you're so focused on how do I steer this to get them to buy my product when I'm trying to teach the world how do I understand the problem to determine if they need my product. And if you guys don't see the difference in that, I can't help you. Not how do I steer them to get to buy my product. How do I understand what's going on to determine if they need my product and why? Right? And that's the difference. And that's still, you have just as much, if not more control doing that as the other one as well. Right? So, dude, that was awesome. I'm glad you got that out of it. That means you got something out of this 31 minutes and 54 seconds. So well done. And I really appreciate it.
All right. Awesome. Tell your team I'm a large.
So we're just Brady knows, Danielle knows what to do, and we're going to send you away to order it yourself. And you get to pick up the one you want. All right, baby?
All right, man. See you.
All right, it was a pleasure. Pleasure. All right, folks. This one was a good one. I hope you guys got something out of this. We had a good audience today. There was a lot of good nuggets for you guys in there. Like Collin made, look, I enjoyed this one for a couple of reasons. One, Collin is a really smart guy. Okay? Love that. He's smart. He understands the products. He's got good engagement skills. He can connect with you. So he's your traditionally good salesperson, and that was dope. But he made all of the same mistakes that all salespeople make, and I applaud him for admitting to some, recognizing some of them. But he did. He went to self-diagnosis. He wasn't listening. He wasn't picking up on the hints. He tried creating something that wasn't there. He tried telling me what he thinks rather than getting me to that place on his own, et cetera, et cetera. All right? So, folks, work on this. Work on it. Keep watching these. Reach out to us, right? Go through the gap selling training. Work with your managers, because what you think you're doing when it comes to gap selling, you think you're doing when it comes to discovery and uncovering issues and selling, you're not doing. You're making the same mistake of everybody else. So with that, though, we got our first sale. Someone finally sold me something. Good for him. I'm excited for him. I'm glad it worked out. So if you want to gap sell me, if you want a chance to sell me or a sales guy, our company, something, text me right here and say, I want to gap sell you. We will get you set up. And if you can find a problem I'm having and you can solve that problem, we will buy. If not, you will help the rest of the world become better sellers. All right, folks, you know what I'm going to say. Thank you very much. Until next time, peace. I'm out.
All I hear, go get the money. So I go get it. Hate means I do something.